Here we are. We are back at Sunset School Park, and I'm going to do the video that I wanted to do, and then there were people here walking around the park and stuff. And so Sunset School Park, this used to be the site of Sunset Elementary School, which is where I spent 7 years of my life instead of a 9 to 5 in the United States of America, at least public school system that I was in. Could do, I think kindergarten was the only one that was half day or full day, and I even did full day back then. So kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. I spent 7 consecutive school years here, full school years, for like the normal school year. So this is 7 years of my life. So if people have a job, you know, and they have a tendency to drop off after 2 years, and they're like, I just can't stay at a place that long. How many years did they spend at their elementary school? That's not true. They're just being a flake. Though people who are flakes, in my experience, also tend to own up to that once they're in their 20s. They can be very good people, at least the ones that are that mature. Anyway, so previously I was gonna, and I'll link to that video that I did a lap at the track. I think this is my 7th video here now, which would be cool if it's right. They'll be numbered below the ones before this, because then I have a video for each year that I spent here, kind of thing. And so my goal was to footstep the building, and then on a different video I had a Reese's approximately where the cafeteria was, and when I was trying to find that, I realized my legs are a lot bigger than I was when I was 2 feet shorter than I am now. So I was having difficulty finding where the cafeteria used to be. So I'm gonna approximately footstep through where the rooms used to be. So let's start out here. So this was, the buses would come in over here, line up here, and then go out the other direction. This was kind of paved, and there used to be a little bit of a like a ramp, and the entrance to the school was about maybe here. You can see where there's a dip still in the sidewalk. The curb is lower, so that's for wheelchair access. And yeah, so there's the entrance, and then there's like the entrance hall. It would have been like maybe like here, and then to the right was like the main lobby, and then I think there was like a little office off on the side, and then on the left in the entrance was the principal's office and like main check-in and stuff like that. So let's walk this way. So there's this main lobby, and it was, when we came to lunch, we'd come in here and then we'd turn, and then the cafeteria would be like approximately here. And the lunchroom and the cafeteria, they were all in this space, because that was also a parking area, and it's still a parking area now. And so the cafeteria would be in here, and it would go all the way down. And we also used the space for, I was in band. I played alto saxophone, so we also had band in the cafeteria. I think orchestra had the practice in the gymnasium. And then there was a cupboard, and the kitchen was over here, and there was a cupboard for, I was on safety patrol, and so we put all our gear in there. And then coming this way, there was like a sliding door, like carpeted kind of surface, that slid, and that was the barrier between the cafeteria and the gymnasium, which was over here. And then the gymnasium kind of cut up, and there was a long walkway on a slight hill, and there was the music room, which was kind of dipped down below. The school was on kind of hills, so like the music room was kind of the first room dipped down, and then next to that was the school counselor. Oh, the school nurse was also in with the principal's office, by the principal's office. We did have school nurse. Okay, and so then there's the music room, there's a walkway past the music room and the school counselor, and then it turns and go to the little kid hall. Little kid hall, yes. So kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Good morning. And that was all in here. And so I did kindergarten, Mrs. Kaylee and Mrs. Murphy, first grade, Miss Peer, who yelled at me and gave me a yellow card for bad behavior one time when my friend Kisu hung, or Kisu, I don't know, is hung the right last name. He was Korean. He got his chair stuck in a table, and I tried to help him get unstuck, and she gave me a yellow card. She was racist. She didn't like that I was helping him. And then second grade, so for kindergarten was that way. Miss Peer was about here, and then at the end of the row here, I had Ms. McDowell, who was my swim coach in high school. She was my second grade teacher. I think she was with Miss Phillips. And then our PE teacher was Mr. Quillis. So I had Miss Phillips and Miss Quillis. That got confused by us little kiddos. And then this was the hall. We had reading tests in the hallway, and I failed my reading test and had to get special education because my reading was so bad. I dramatically improved later in life. And my writing is actually one thing that has tested higher than my math on certain tests, like standardized tests, interestingly enough. But I failed that in this hallway. It was a very traumatic experience. My parents didn't find out because I graduated out of special ed for reading so fast. They didn't even have to tell my parents. All right, so we're walking back this way, the little kids' hall. There's a turn here, and then there's the pathway past the music room and school counselor, and there are doors. And the doors go through an outdoor walkway. I forget what's on that side. Oh, the library! And I was a librarian's assistant one year. And then this used to be an outdoor play area, and it had the 50 United States of America, yes, even Alaska and Hawaii, painted on the ground, and we'd play different games, and there was like Foursquare and basketball and stuff, and so it's changed a bit. And then there's the walkway, and there was one time I was standing by this doorway waiting to go to the third grade hall. They called it the third grade hall. In Sage Bonds in Calapeel, who I've mentioned before, there was a kid, Nathaniel Tarshish, who left in, I think it was second grade. So it was been like 7 or 8 years old they did this. I think it was third grade, but I'm not certain about that. So they did this, they were like, did you have sex with Nathaniel Tarshish? And I was like, or did you have sex with Nathaniel? And I was like, no. It's like, where does that come from like 7 or 8 year olds? Was there a unpublished manuscript of the 50 Shades of Grey? Like, you know, that would have been over a decade before the first public publishing. But a lot of that speak and terminology was like very prevalent even at 7 and 8 years old in the outskirts, northern suburbs of Seattle. Would that have been, about a decade before that book was published publicly. But the unpublished manuscript existed for how long? Okay. And then there's the outdoor walkway past this play area. And then this is like the third grade wing over here. And there was like, we had the broadcast room. So I was part of the kids news broadcast. So we had the like anchor desks and full filming set up and all of that. That was, I think, over this way. There were bathrooms. It was third grade, and for some reason we came over for like art when I was a kindergartner or something like that. So art class was over this way. We had art class every year, but art class was usually in our rooms. So this is a third grade hall. There were little ramps up, and these were it was like a tether balls were out here. Third grade. We had science club. I was in science club for a little bit. That was over here. Math Olympiads was held in the library. I remember and there were different rooms in the library. Okay, so we're in third grade, we're going back. And there's the library over here. And then that kind of took up a bunch of space. And there was a curb that came in. It kind of, it's still kind of there with the trees and stuff, but this came in and you could actually like walk up closer to the library. There was like a divot with where cars could pull. And then we're walking past the library, and then there's speech therapy. So I had to do, I think over a year of speech therapy because I had a speech impediment and couldn't pronounce my R's. So I had speech therapy, and then I passed on the turn. There's the big kids ring, which was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, which is like generally this area, which covered like stuff like Washington State history, Pacific Northwest history, which was kind of like Washington State, Oregon, Alaska got thrown in there because was technically our neighbors to the north, for United States proximity, and Native American history and stuff like that. And then, yeah, we're walking back up the hallway, big gate hallway, and we're back to that main walkway, and then we turn and keep going. Turn, principal's office. So main office, so it was main office, so you like turn into the main office. There's the check-in desk on the left. On the right is the school nurse. And then at the end, with its own door, is the principal's office. So I think I talked to her once after I was bullied and had to see the school counselor, or I saw the school counselor, and after I was bullied, and she checked to make sure that I got everything I needed to be successful. So yeah, so there we go. Foot stepping the approximately locations of the rooms of the school I attended for 7 years of my life, Sunset Elementary School. Not to be confused with stepping, the performance art form. Yeah. Happy walking and talking at Sunset School Park, Thursday, 5 October 2023. City of Shoreline, King County, Washington State, United States of America, Planet Earth, the original.